Hello everybody and welcome to our UK Zoom call under control. I welcome you from whichever part of the globe you hail from. I am with Peter here and Gwen sits in the naughty chair, alas. And so I shall begin by passing the floor over to Pearce if he is indeed here and wishes to share anything.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. I am here. I've only got one little quick thing to share because there's nothing really I've seen but I just had one impression, and basically I've been asking for a couple of weeks just to sit and before I go sleep and I want to see what's coming, or I want to see what's happening, and after the last chat where you said you was on the vessel, and I asked the question. I said, yeah, I want to see the vessel, but I did see it. I'm pretty sure it was it, but it was I wasn't on board it or anything. Well, it was an impression. It wasn't a dream experience. It wasn't a real sad experience. It was more an impression. It's come to me throughout the day when I was asking. It was just like it was the vessel, but it was just shining gold. And it was just gliding on the water. It was big, but I wasn't on board it. I wasn't looking around it, but it was just gold. It was just like I've seen on the illustration, just that, but just gold. And it was coursing through the waves, and it was like the waves were making way for it. And I had like an aerial view, like I was a bird or something watching it. And that's it. That's the only thing that I've seen or that's happened to me since the last chat. Thank you, Kevin.
Okay, I don't know if Dwayne would like to comment on that dream.
It was an impression. It wasn't a dream. It was just impression. It was just views coming to me. So I went with it, and that's what it was. It was just like me flying about above it like a bird. But I seen it as it was like going through the waves. I went down. I thought like, well, I'm going to investigate it, but like it didn't happen. It was just like I'm getting that view from it.
Hey, thank you, Pearce. No, that's cool. Yes, the reality of what we are presenting here kind of demonstrates itself in that with the vessel, creating the vessel, because the vessel is, the idea of the vessel is a real education for everybody about the all-natural environment. So just because it's not here in the physical, which would be nice, it is still on the real side, and that's what you're identifying with there. Again, like Kevin's experience the last time. So in other words, it's like the new presentation is what the vessel is, and this is what we're operating, and to see if others will step up and support what we're doing. And the first part, of course, is the natural environment here, but there's a bigger picture to it, and that's everything to where people have this opportunity to wake up all the way and see the real universes. It's a big journey, but little at a time you see it. Yes, thank you, Pearce. Thank you.
Okay, I will now give the floor over to Peter. So the floor is going in your general direction, Peter.
Right, thank you. Hello, everybody. Right, got 4 dreams today. You'll be glad to know. I'll try and keep them as brief as possible. What was it? The first dream, I should say, took place in a street scene somewhere. I've no idea where, but I don't think it's relevant. I was standing in the street. I was aware of somebody standing to my left, although I couldn't see who it was. In front of me were 2 tallish circular baskets, sort of Alibaba shaped things, but not as big as that, and they didn't have tops on them. Excuse me. Anyway, I picked one of them up and looked inside, and it seemed solid enough and nothing unusual. Put it down, picked up the other one. Now the second one had got a hole in the bottom, a perfect hole right in the centre, about 2 inches across. When I peered down into it, it seemed to go on forever, or go down an immense depth, as far as that I could sort of see, totally out of consistency with the thickness of the basket, which seemed rather odd. Anyway, I put it down, and then I was aware of this magnificent black spider, about 2 inches across, running up my arm. And I was quite pleased about this, because I like spiders. And it came up, and then it went over my face, well, over my head, I should say, I think, and settled down on my left ear and sort of sat there straddling my ear. I thought, well, That's all very interesting. Wonder what that's about. But I thought after a minute or two, well, I don't want it. That's probably a good idea not to leave it there. So I asked the chap next to me if he'd be good enough to kindly gently remove it without damaging it. Because as I couldn't see it, I might hurt it in some way if I tried to do it. So he, chap next to me did exactly that, put it down and it legged it, so to speak. That was the end of the dream, really. But I was sort of thinking about it afterwards. My own thoughts varied considerably. Kevin's on this, so I rather yield to his wise and better wisdom on the thing. But I'll say what I thought, and that was that this spider might have been a guide in shapeshift mode, and if so, it might have been sort of giving me a message of some sort, by sitting across my ear, either telepathically or in some way or another, sort of a word in your ear kind of thing. I mean, I don't know whether it came out of the basket or not. I didn't see where it came from, but it could have done, and perhaps it was entering the level I was on through the hole in the bottom from another level. Anyway, talking to Kevin about it, his feelings were that spiders are generally malevolent symbols, not benevolent ones, as he's seen many quite horrendous examples on the astral level when he's on his jaunts, astral projection. And it's more likely that the spider came up from probably a lower astral level through the hole in the basket and was attaching itself very generously to my brain. But the person who removed it was more likely the guide, helping me to get rid of its influence. He did add also the point that the baskets being woven could symbolise weaving and a connection with spiders' webs, or indeed the web. Anyway, so that's me waffling on. Perhaps Dwayne would like to comment, if you would, please.
Yeah, okay. So simply put, yeah, it's like the influence, and it goes to your head, you might say, and then in your ear to whisper in your ear. And yeah, the guide's there to help pull it out. It's kind of like when you were young and your mother, after a day playing, wanted you to take a bath, kind of cleans you up, helps clean you up, you see. So as we experience these things, we are the experiencer. We're going through them as we're going through our daily lives, and we don't see what we're picking up because mainly our attention, just like little kids that are 3 and 4 walking along. They don't see everything, but the parents walking beside them see what's coming, or if it's cars coming, or something's in the way, or they're going to trip on something, etc. And so because we're just focused, the personal self, I'll just say the personal self, not we, is focused mainly on this world, not paying attention to what's behind the appearance of things. So yeah, it gives you a hint there. These are little hints, things that are taking place, and also to beware. The world is not the appearance it seems to be. And the basket, well, those are your ideas that you're carrying around, isn't it? It's like a woman has a purse, or a man has a wallet, or you have a basket of goodies, or for a picnic, etc. These are things we carry with us. Now, go ahead.
Right, okay, fine, thank you. The second dream concerned an open air of a restaurant, an odd one though, because it seemed to be very narrow. It was like a big, tall, sort of kind of a staircase effect, in as much as each table and chair or set of chairs was on a different level. So as you went up, it was going up a sort of staircase of very wide, flat areas with a table and chairs on it, and then you go up another level and so on. To the right of it was a wall, and to the left was a gangway, and I couldn't see what was beyond the gangway, but I got the impression there were no more tables or chairs. It was just the one thin line of them. It seemed very odd. And the thing was, I was walking on the tabletop, so I was sort of stepping over them and going up as if it was a staircase, carefully walking between all the diners. Every table seemed to have people sitting there eating and drinking. I could see glasses of beer and plates of food, and I was carefully stepping between them. Nobody seemed to notice me at all, totally oblivious of me. And I was walking up this rather odd staircase, in effect. I didn't see myself actually get to the top, but moving on in the dream, I seemed to be at the top at some point, and I was standing there talking to somebody, and I'd got in my hands, I'd got a potted hydrangea plant, blue one, beautiful thing, and but it got all sort of tangled up, bits of paper and wire and stuff around the stems and things, and so this chap was showing me how to undo it, unravel it and get them off. So I think that was basically it. Well, my thoughts about it were that it seemed pretty obvious that about ascending different levels, hopefully to improve the situation. Maybe the man at the top was a guide, removing tap lines or whatever, karma possibly, with a bit of luck. The other thing I could think of was the blue colour of the flowers, which is a blue hydrangea, I haven't mentioned that. But I believe that blue is the colour that the guides favour. I spoke to Kevin about it, who basically thought much the same, and pointed out the fact that people are generally unaware, and that's why they didn't notice me walking across their meals, carefully not treading their dinner, and they're more concerned with their earthly pleasures than somebody doing that. Yeah, sorry, that's that one.
Well, we bother everybody, Peter, that's for sure, don't we? Seen or unseen.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Well, third dream then. This is a bit of an odd one, a very, very short one, in fact. That was, I seemed to be up in the sky, and I was confronted by this dragon. It's a very odd shape for a dragon. Well, I've never actually seen a real dragon, of course, but it was very fat and sort of stubby looking, almost like a sort of a dragonized pig, really. And then I was aware in the sky there's this German city, and all the name of it in the Gothic German sort of capitals. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I know it began with a W and a U. It was something like Württemberg or something. I don't know if there even is a city of that name. Maybe Abe would be able to help on that one. But and then that sort of faded away, and there was another dragon. By this time, it was a much more slender one, and it resembled nothing as much as a crocodile, with sort of dragonized effects, I suppose. And that was it, really. But talking to Kevin about it, because I hadn't got a clue on this one, he felt that the fat dragon sort of symbolised earlier attachments, sort of tap lining, and what have you, to a life in Germany, whereas the sleek and more slender one, the crocodilian one, sort of showed a result of getting rid of all these tap lines, or a lot of them anyway, and in other words, it was sort of had very, very little to feed on compared to the fat one. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but again, over to you, please.
That's one view, and that's fine. And I was saying that crocodiles, they have this little snapping attitude, and we have the personal self we have to deal with. So sometimes it's like that too. So it's different views of ourselves at times, and like Kevin says, a past life, what have you. We've been through so much. So again, we get all these views. I get all these things too, in so many different ways, and they all add up. And it's how we relate to them, or we don't. We don't have to. We just view them to recognize the difference. So there's always a comparison, and that's the is. And in the physical, the sun helps as a comparison, because it's always shining and there's no attitudes with it. So again, even when we don't recognize the experience, when you just take the time to compare it with what's real, then things come from that. But it's just, as long as we're here, we're going to get all this little funny stuff. Yes, thank you.
Okay, final dream, very, very short one. I was actually, this is an office I actually did work in for a time in the town I live, up on the, what we call the second floor, you'd call it the third floor office. And I went to open one of the sash type windows. I don't know whether I was going to open it or close it, but when I got to it anyway and took hold of it, suddenly all came away. All the whole thing, the frame and everything, came out of the sort of hole in the wall sort of thing, and threatened to sort of fall out into the street below. I managed to grab it and pull it back in again. That was basically the dream, and I didn't really have a chance to discuss it properly with Kevin, so I'm completely in your hands on this one, Dwayne.
Well, very simple. In other words, you were in this room, second floor. Here we have the ground floor, and then we have second story. Is that what you're saying?
Well, as I understand it, you have a ground floor, or we have a ground floor and a first floor and a second floor, and you have a first floor, a second floor, and a third floor. So it'd be your third floor and our second floor, you see what I mean?
Yeah, I get that idea. So basically, many times on the real side, you're on the next floor, let's say from the ground floor. Okay, we'll just say the next floor, which is above that, which is the start of the real side. And the window and the wall being blown away is a good thing, simply because, yes, you're, for the most part, what do you do in your personal self? You stand at the window and you look out the window. Okay, so, and the window is what it is. It's something to view through, all right? But when the window is taken away, there's no obstacle. You can just jump and fly, can't you? So you decided to bring it back in.
Oh, right. So, sorry, what does that signify then that I brought it back in? I can't quite follow.
Well, it's very simple. In other words, you decided to keep things as they were instead of letting it go. And now you have the opportunity. In other words, it was blown away for you, so you could just leap out of that personal self and go explore, but you decided to pull it back in and keep things the same. Same view, you see? And this is what we're presenting to the world. We're presenting alternate views, but most people want to keep their same view. So now with that, you can objectively see the experience, and you can go over it again and let the window go out, and you can leap out and explore, you see? With your imagination, you start, and with your intent. So you decide the experience. So you had the experience, you were the decider. Now you decide what you want to do.
Oh, right, I see. Right, okay. Thanks very much for that then. Well, that's me done for this week.